on mute. Here we go. So just to give you a quick overview, what I want to go through is exactly what I view as being the key areas that we're going to see some growth, not necessarily in the very long term. I'm not going to touch on Web3, but I am going to go through gaming, go through NFTs, also go through some smart contracts as well, to kind of give you an idea of the coins that I'm looking out for the next few, I'm going to say like year, maybe 2 years. We had NFT summer. We got there was such a mad like craze about it. We also had a DeFi summer as well. So I'm here to tell you what is it that I'm looking at before we have that next massive run, because I think it's going to come, and it's going to come once we have some crazy fundamental value from a few projects in like the same area. I think that's where we're going to get it. Hello, Gurav. Nice to see you again. And also hello, Brucey. Not unironically, no, Dogecoin to the moon, I tell you, to the moon. That's what we want to see. I actually, no, I'm joking. At the moment, I don't think Dogecoin is kind of programmed to have enough, like it doesn't do enough. It's not unique enough. It's not like smart contracts. It's not transferring payment. It's not like, it doesn't really do too much. But I see that there are a few of you guys, and maybe I'll go through some of these at the end, for example, Altura. But I know that there's a couple of you guys who regularly ask us to go through a few in specific. So without further ado, guys, I'm going to get straight into it. So, and like I said, I'm not going to cover everything. Drop a comment if you do want me to go through something at the end. But just for now, you can see I've got a ton of tabs. Let's get through it quite quickly. So, essentially, my first, and we're going to use this as a bit of a guide. This is from the block. This is essentially just looking at different markets, different like on-chain analysis. This is actually a really good website I quite like. Scaling solutions. So this is obviously a lot for smart contract coins. Now, I believe that in the future, we're going to have smart contract coins integrated into our lives without us even necessarily knowing about it. I do think that this is where really anyone who buys into a smart contract coin is making a much better bet than if someone, let's say, who buys Shiba Inu, for example. I genuinely believe that. I think DeFi is going to be huge. I think NFTs are going to be huge. And also I think Web3 is going to be huge. But these are, let's take NFTs, for example. There's something that we don't really associate with right now. Like it's only because crypto got big that they got popular. Now, if we can have a crypto way of actually integrating like crypto into our normal lives, that's where we're going to see a whole lot of value, in my opinion. So you can kind of look through here. There's nothing really on here that I want to kind of talking about Terra Luna here. Luna based on Terra Classic. I don't know why this is here. Like this probably shouldn't be the first thing that you look at. Instructions on the Solana blockchain, that's a fairly good metric to have a look at, but probably best to have a look over that monthly. We do see a move to the upside, which is very good, showing that kind of people are not just only scared of crypto at the moment. But looking through some smart contract coins here, you can see sector market cap 250 billion almost. And we're looking through, here are some of the top ones. So if you don't know anything about crypto, you want to buy some crypto, you want to buy some coins just to like secure that bag for when you retire, these are some of the ones which I would recommend. Ethereum, Solana, that's not even on here. Ethereum, Cardano, Tron, Stellar, Algorand. I really like Algorand and Internet Computer, ICP. I feel like these are they're a little bit behind. There's not as much being built on them, but I definitely think that there is a lot of potential for those. Also for our friend VeChain, but it's too Chinese in the sense that, and I said this before, but someone's like, man, they're not Chinese, because I believe it was Chinese guys who went to Singapore and set it up in Singapore. But all of their contracts, they're with like, I can't say it. They're like the big Norwegian shipping company, like Crooney and something. But it's the Chinese version. BMW, but it's the Chinese version. Not the Chinese version, but the Chinese like branch. It's nothing else. So I believe these kind of smart contract coins, those that have like a real use, i.e. VeChain, for example, they work with LVMH to make sure that when LVMH, the guys who make like Louis Vuitton and Gucci, when they make a thing, like a product, it's actually tracked on the blockchain. You can see exactly where it is, and that is very useful. So that's why I believe these will be popular. And where I said earlier that we're going to have cryptos integrating with companies, but we don't even know about it yet, this is exactly what I'm talking about. These little things that squeeze through. Like, not many people know what EY is, but they're one of the big four accounting firms, pretty much got their fingers in almost every, biggest company in the world in those pies. So working with the Polygon protocol on obviously the Ethereum network is going to be a very big way that we see lots of integration with crypto into the real world. And like I said, guys, I'm going to go through this quite quickly, just so we're not sitting here for 2 hours, because I'll get bored, you'll get bored, and it's okay. So total value locked on all chains. One thing that I quite like to do is obviously just keep an eye on what is locked up. Then we also have like a total value locked up ratio, and that's basically the ratio of what is the market cap and how much is locked up. So if, for example, let's take Waves. So if Waves has a market cap of like 100 million, but Ethereum has a market cap of, let's say, 500 billion, but they both have the same amount of value locked up, then you're going to want to buy Waves because it shows there's a lot more trust in it, and it's a much smaller market cap, so it has a lot more room to grow than Ethereum. So this is something that I have a look at. But you can see this here, how many different protocols are on each one. This is on DeFi Llama. Has there been money flowing in or flowing out? So obviously over the past month, money has been coming in to most of the protocols. And you can see this here. So this is the ratio I was talking about. So Binance Smart Chain obviously has a lower market cap than Ethereum, but it has like not that much. Maybe I can find a better example. Where, because I saw Phantom, that was on a madness. That was on something crazy that I saw previously. But basically, guys, this is the market cap to total value locked. So something like Polkadot has a very low market cap. A very high market cap relative to the total value locked. Like, there's not really any value locked. So you want this number to kind of be as small as possible. So let's just bring this up. So something like these have quite a high total value locked relative to their market cap. So these are arguably the ones that, you might begin to see a bit of a moonshot from these in the future, because lots of people are locking up value in them, but they're still very, very small projects. So something that's worth looking at. Another metric that I quite like to use is the energy use in kilowatt hours per year, because, we had not too long ago, the European Union, and I might be wrong on this one, but it was the European, someone, it might have been the Chamber of Commerce, it might have been, something. But anyway, they were voting whether they should just completely ban Bitcoin 100%. And there was questions about whether it would be from banks, just mining, whether it would be from, selling equipment, from transactions. But the reason why was because proof of work is a very, very big consideration for the future. So if there's a coin that's working on proof of work versus proof of stake is going to be a better long-term investment, I would argue, because we're going to have that lower energy usage. And that's exactly why we're seeing Ethereum do that right now, moving on to the beacon chain. So having a look at this, I think, is quite useful. Obviously, if Cardano was a tiny chain and it had a tiny amount of energy usage, that would kind of make sense. But something like Flow, for example, it's not as big as Avalanche, it's not as big as Cardano, but its energy usage is higher. So that's a very, very bad thing. And one thing that's interesting is Solana. I've always really liked Solana. They don't have only a proof of stake system. They have a combination of proof of history and proof of stake. So they merge those two together. And it's a really cool way in which it works, but I won't get into it now because it's boring as hell. But I'm surprised that the energy usage is so high, especially when they're down for half the time. They're offline. I'm like, if you're offline, how are you using so much energy? It's absolutely insane. But anyway, so just moving on. I see that we're on 10 minutes. This is absolutely mental. NFT monthly volume coming down, not great. Obviously, we're always plagued by hacks. This is something that I think has to be solved. But until that happens, it's just we're just not there. And obviously, OpenSea has had mad dominance, really, 60%. Now it's slowly falling down. They have obviously their major competitors. Solana is Magic Eden, and X2Y2. They are gaining ground. We did see recently OpenSea integrated Solana, but that seems to have only made people go like, oh, well, if on OpenSea I can sell Solana NFTs, why don't I just like make Solana NFTs? If I'm going to make Solana NFTs, why don't I just go to the home of Solana NFTs? So you can see this is my little NFT here. If you guys want to send me any, absolutely do it. But you can see the collection breakdown, the volumes, and then we can also have a further look and look at the marketplaces if you guys are interested in NFTs. But personally, I believe NFTs are going to be massive in the future. I'm very much a fan of NFTs, but they need to have an application. So for those that do, they need to have like a real world application. And I do think something like GameStop might help this happen. So we see that their marketplace opening weekly sales eclipses Coinbase volume, which is really good news to see. I'm quite a fan of this, really. So it's proven to be an early hit among JPEG collectors. Why'd they have to do us like that? Why'd they have to tell us JPEG collectors? That is not fair. Doing over 5,000 ETH, 7.2 mil in trading volume since its launch on July the 11th, which is really bloody decent to see. I'm happy with that. Very happy with that. Especially when at the moment, like the NFT volume is just so far down. But anyway, I think that with NFTs, we are going to have like a bit of a bit more of an application, but I'll come to that in a second. And I'll go more into gaming and give you some examples of these coins that I actually really like. So total value locked. Again, this is very similar to just looking into things like DeFi Llama, for example. But you can look into, like, if you like Ethereum, that's great. But Ethereum, although it has lots of room to grow, it's not going to be one of those 100x moonshots that we've had before. It's already done that. We can't deny. It's the second largest by market cap. It's just, if you want that moonshot, then I think the ones that you're going to want to go for are things that use the Ethereum network, but in a different way. So looking at what is the value locked of Ethereum scaling solutions, because, I mean, look, we all know Ethereum's not ready. It's not good enough right now, to be honest. So hence why we need scaling solutions. My two favorites are the optimistic rollups and the zero knowledge rollup. So a ZK rollup is a zero knowledge rollup, I should say. Let me know down in the comments if you might agree. But I'm going to say the reason why zero knowledge rollups are so effective, and I'll get into an actual example for you in a second, is that when a company uses, let's say, a blockchain, they don't want everybody to know, because we all think it's great, it can't be hacked, it's public knowledge, they know that you sent this to here. You don't always want that, especially if you're a company or a government who want to keep your transactions very secure. So you need to have these zero knowledge rollups, which again, I'm looking 5 years down the line, I'm looking at big institutional money coming in, I'm looking at uses all over the world, and we can't deny that every company having everything public, although it's good for the user, no company is going to do it. No company at all. So then, looking up, you can go through here, and I'm not going to go through this. We're keeping it as a very kind of quick, a very quick overview. DXDY, that is the largest. Loopring, they had a bit of an exciting kind of climb up, and now they've slightly fallen down in terms of value locked. And then again, you can have a look through the optimistic rollups here. Arbitrum 1 being the largest and Optimism slowly gaining. But I think if you remember, they had a hack that happened not too long ago, and that might be the reason why they're not doing too well. But let's look further into some of these layer 2 zero knowledge rollups. Again, we can go through here. Immutable, for example, and then Loopring is the first zero knowledge rollup layer 2 on Ethereum. I did. That was the worst. I had previously done a big video on this, but essentially what they do is, instead of just processing one transaction, through, and it says it here, but I'm going to simplify this for you. Instead of processing one transaction on the Ethereum blockchain, they say, okay, look, off chain, we'll do 1,000 different transactions, and then we just code it, we wrap it up, and it's, you don't know exactly what happened in those small transactions, which we've wrapped up, but we've wrapped them all up, we put them all into like a separate bag, and then this one goes into the Ethereum chain. So within this one block, you have thousands of transactions. So obviously, it means you can get thousands of transactions done, and it only takes the speed of one block as opposed to one transaction per block, which is really, really good. So that is a coin, again, that I really like for the future. Having things like this, which are one, secure, two, increase the throughput, and also decrease the cost. Major issue with Ethereum, gas fees. Everyone hates it. It's the gas fees. If you can, roll up 1,000 different transactions, you're going to pay 1,000th of those gas fees. And then, like I said, we're going to move into gaming. You can look through here at these. Obviously, Axie Infinity is the boss. It's just the boss. Sora or Sora, so rare. Guys, don't expect much from me. So rare, we'll call it. In terms of NFT trade volume is increasing. Axie Infinity is decreasing, but they had mad hacks and everything like this, so fair play. Gods Unchained was actually, I used to play that. I gave that a go for a while. But we can look through here and, we can use this data to see where it is that we might want to be going to in terms of what's going to spike. But there are a lot of very good games. This is Star Atlas. I'm a bit of a nerd. I love like space. This is, and this was a really cool website, I will say. Depths of the Universe. It's basically like a bit like a metaverse where you create spaceships and stuff like this, and you choose where to explore and whatever. So you can have like different factions that you're in and all this stuff, different stuff. So there are an awful lot of very good games that are coming out, and I'm not again going to go through all of them, but it's coins like these. So this is all obviously going to have its own little these NFTs, which you'll then be able to trade and earn money from. And how will this work? Again, quick overview for anyone who hasn't seen how the NFT gaming play to earn things are going to work is, let's say I'm playing Call of Duty. If it had NFTs enabled, which it doesn't, if it had NFTs enabled, I might get 500 headshots. I get a golden gun, or I get like a gold face mask, or I get, whatever it is, this little dress thing. By the way, I love Call of Duty. But if I was to get a certain camo or a certain skin, what I can do is I can then sell that to someone. So that's NFT trading. So I could be making money from playing these. Now, one coin that I really like is actually Engine. They were rumored a while back to have an integration with Steam that never actually went through. But essentially, you can use these to you can trade NFTs, you can create your own little marketplaces, and then I believe you can set up different chat rooms and everything like this to talk about certain games. So I think although Engine at the moment is not very big, you will be able to create NFTs from your games using the Engine coin, giving them real world value, utility, ownership, fees, rarity, obviously, if you unlock something very cool. And so that's why I quite like Engine coin. Chili's, it's real world. That's it. I'm not necessarily over enthusiastic about the team, about everything else. It's real world. It's something that right now I think it's framing itself as a crypto, which I think is a bad idea. I think they've already got their partners. We see they've got tons of very cool partners. AC Milan, for example. They need to focus more on this entertainment engagement. How many people go out there and bet on football or bet on sports? I don't know the volume, but imagine how much money is put on betting for Manchester City, for PSG, for Juventus, Roma, Atletico Madrid. These are these are the biggest company football clubs in the world. So if you can make money off the betting and entertainment of this, especially the UFC, for example, you're going to see huge amounts of volume. So this is why, again, it's that real world volume, another coin that I really like. But I did see a little, what's this called? An article about D-Grain. So D-Grain. It might be something that's quite interesting, but Dgrain is one of the cryptocurrencies with the stellar initial stage of performance. And I haven't actually gone through this, but there you go. You see there's that movement into the Dgrain pre-sale. And like I said earlier, guys, Ethereum doesn't have that 100x potential, but a coin like this might do. Another real world thing that I love, this is VV. This is actually the marketplace, I believe, and I can't remember the name of the actual coin itself, but let me go through some of their partnerships. Partnered with Marvel, partnered with DC, partnered with Ghostbusters, Powerpuff Girls, Adventure Time. Like, how good is this? Batman, Star Trek, Superman, Back to the Future, Jurassic Park, Harley Quinn. It's absolutely insane. And also, from what, if I remember correctly, I think one of their chief business development officers is the guy who took Pokemon from Japan and made it global. So everyone's been talking about that, but it hasn't been done just yet. Yeah, and you can see here, Fast and the Furious, for example. So this is where I have a lot of faith in this, but the NFT bubble has to pop. We have to see more adoption of NFTs, and obviously that's not going to happen while prices are super, super high, which is why I moved from Ethereum, because only rich people can afford the gas fees, into something like Solana, where things are cheap. NFTs are cheap, fees are cheap. This is where we're going to see that massive explosion and I guess like democratization of NFTs that will allow a company like VV, for example, to thrive. And then again, just going to wrap this up here, guys. Solana, so these are trending projects, as you see. STEPN, obviously, a lot of people have heard about this very well, quite a lot. Solend, very big. And again, we can look through here, So looking at some of the web apps and some of the projects that they have, that Solana have. And again, Cardano, I really like Cardano. I just feel like it's kind of been, instead of like Ethereum, because we all know Charles Hoskinson he was one of the founders of Ethereum, left there and decided not just to build something and then kind of scale it, but to wait and build something that was already scalable. And so, yeah, I'm a big fan of Cardano. I kind of have been for a while, but it has been stagnant. And I think as we move along those different eras, I think it will be a very good platform. But there's no denying it's taken far too long for them to actually, get the smart contracts up and running, get projects built on them. It's been too slow, and that has hindered it. While we see Solana, we see Ethereum, we see all these different smart contract platforms kind of overtake. So there hasn't really been anything that's been great for this. Apart from actually Etala Prism, which I believe was used or will be used by the Ethiopian government to track. I want to say, I don't know how many. I'm going to say 500,000. I think it's 500,000 students and teachers' identity records, which, obviously is a great win. But yeah, that's very behind closed doors, kind of private. And just to finish up here, guys, Monero, this is a privacy coin. I don't know how well this is going to do in the next few months or years. But obviously, there are people who were using Bitcoin for one specific reason. That was to send money and not be detected when they were buying stuff off the internet, which, if you don't know why, what Bitcoin was primarily used for initially, just have a little Google search and you'll be like, what? But anyway, so that is still important to some people. I think that's, that majority is getting less and less, but there are still, some people who value the privacy that you get. And even with Bitcoin, you don't get that much privacy. Something like Monero, which is known as a privacy coin, is something that I think will still be appealing to some people as we move further along. And again, it might just be that it's, it's useful to different companies. We can have a quick look through what about us on Monero. It's a little bit too wordy, to be honest. But yeah, the first thing they say, security. There you go. And yeah, Web3. Like I said, I haven't really touched on Web3. A16Z is a very, very good company that's been like, I mean, they've been involved in like, just have a look at their website. They're basically like a VC fund, venture capitalist fund, where they just invest in so many companies prior to them blowing up, really. And now they've taken a massive interest in Web3. So look, you know, I haven't touched on Web3, I know, but overall, that's my little rant, and I've been on it for 25 minutes. It's insane. So, okay, what is your... Here we go. What are the solid bets on altcoins now after looking at all the factors? Are all these low cap altcoins available on PancakeSwap for buying? Please share your dark horse investments on low cap altcoins. So I won't go through the kind of what I think are the solid altcoins, because I think we don't have enough information yet. You know, we're in a bear market, which is, I guess, why I'm looking into these genres, but specific coins. They are gonna blow up once we have a high or a really good amount of, should we say, investment. One that I do like is Rose. So I'll bring this up. Coin market cap. Let's have a look. This, and I'll show you why I like this actually. So this is one that I hold personally. So Rose, well, that's a bit rubbish, isn't it? Here we go. No, not actually called Rose, but Oasis. Here we go. I know the ticker is Rose. So this here, I actually did a video about this. Again, scroll back through the channel. I believe you'll be able to see the video that I did just kind of analyzing Rose. It's a layer one blockchain, combines high throughput with low gas fees to provide a next generation foundation for Web3, DeFi, GameFi, NFTs, metaverse, data tokenizations, and data DAOs. The founder of this, she actually works with the US government. I believe it's the Pentagon. She's got like 2 or 3 contracts with the Pentagon. Also, they are one of the top 2 invested blockchains by top VC funds and has some of the fastest growing developer networks in the industry. It's actually like, so I'm not going to go through it. It's crazy amount of like technical like expertise that they have, but you can see through here. So up to 1,000 transactions per second, plus a reduced fee or reducing fees by 99% when compared to Ethereum. So this is actually one coin that I really like, but it's because of this VC funding that they have. Also the fact that the woman who is the CEO is well, she's a machine, and 2, she is she's working with the US government, which kind of puts her in a good position and any project she's associated with. But also they have several Fortune 500 partnerships, and this, again, I'm talking about partnerships. You have to have someone to sell to. You have to have something. You have to have a use case for your coin. If you don't have a use case, you don't have a coin. Well, you have a coin, but you don't have a project. But yeah, such as Crypto Safe Alliance with Binance and BMW Group and others. So this is one coin that specifically I really like. The others, I do like Cardano. This is one coin I would be hodling for a very long time. It would also be Solana. It would also be VV. And I don't know if this is the actual coin though. And just quickly search what is VV coin. It's OMI. Omicoin. Oh, Ecomi. There we go. It's Ecomi. This is the coin that the VV platform uses. I completely forgot about that. Chili's, yes, I would be betting on Chili's. That's not like a 5-10 year hold. But this is something that, and I'm not in it now. I'm not in it now, by the way. You know, it's a bear market. I got out of a lot of my holdings. And so, yeah, and then also Loopring, another one that I used to hold, but then did sell. And I quite like these NFTs. And yeah, that's pretty much everything, guys. If there are any questions, drop them in. We like Rose. Wild. I really like Wild. Mr. New Creation. I'm glad that you know about this. This game looks amazing. Is it like Wild? It's Wilder World or something, isn't it? The game Wilder Worlds. Wild. Let me have a look. Yeah, it's Wilder World. Have a look at the website of this, guys. If you like gaming, Wilder World. This actually looks sick. Have a look here. New dimension of reality. You can have a look at the. Yeah, here we go. Look. This looks mad. Oh, and also Unreal Engine, if you're into stocks, I think the Unreal Engine will be used very, very heavily in Web3, in new game design, everything like this. Basically, you can get your own like cars, you get shoes, you can buy houses, you can buy land, you can travel around, and you can like kill stuff. So I mean, looks pretty cool to be fair. This, yeah, I really like this. I would say, and also their team is unbelievable. They have a really, really good team at Wilder World. So again, yes, something. At the moment, like I said, I don't believe that we're at the end of the bear market. So I wouldn't be getting into these coins now because there is potential to see more downside. But absolutely, Wild is one that I'll be watching. Rose is another one. And then we will see. Hey, morning. Sorry, I'm missing the streams. How's everyone doing? Have you seen Altura? The smart NFTs are going to be huge for the gaming industry. Welcome back, everybody. Go back. You can go back and watch the full video. If you did arrive late, what was I? Altura. Let's have a look. Altura NFTs. So I know someone's been mentioning this. It might be the same guy. I don't know if it is you. Then fair play. But thanks for putting us onto this. This could be very, very good. So integrating blockchain-based assets to your applications without the need for any Web3 knowledge. That actually sounds like a very good idea. I've got such an itchy nose today. Let's have a look. Is there like a smart NFT? That I think is the next step, like integrating properties into an NFT. Also, if you think about like Meta, for example, you want an NFT, but you want them to like okay. And the reason why I'm saying this is you have your own avatar. So even on like what is it, Instagram, you can have, instead of just replying to someone's story with an emoji, you can create your own character. But if you can give them your own little personality and their own, I guess their own features that are directly related to you through something like Altura, that could be massive for making gaming much more personal. And again, that could feed into VR gaming, AR gaming, which is where I believe the kind of future of aiming is going. And something like this, if this makes it easier for you, then, if this makes it easier, everyone's going to want to make it easier. But again, I haven't actually done a huge amount of research on this, so I can come back to this. Whoever it was who mentioned this, Oscar. Yes, Oscar. There you go. So yeah, anyway, Wild made about 150% in the last weeks. Yeah, that is absolutely insane. Very, very insane. I'm actually quite excited for that game Wild. But anyway, guys, I'm going to cut this short just so, when people, if they want to watch it, they'll be able to see without too much me talking rubbish at the end. But yeah, ultimately, the key areas we need to be looking at is, non-Ethereum blockchains, because I do think Ethereum's dominance will drop. But even with that, if you want those 100x, moonshots, look for optimistic, but I would say mainly zero knowledge roll-ups. And then again, NFTs are going to be huge. We're seeing a bit of volume come back into the space. Zero knowledge roll-ups, I quite like Loopring. In terms of gaming, I like Star Atlas, and also, as we just mentioned, Wild. Chili's, I think, good, but they need to change into making sure they're more, less of a crypto. Like, yes, they are a crypto. That's the way it works. But the benefit is this entertainment amongst, all of the top teams. And then VV, I like, but again, people are not going to buy an NFT if they don't really understand it. And in order for them to understand it, it has to be cheap so they can test it out. But right now, NFTs are not cheap. Solana, I like. Cardano, I like. And then, yeah, that's those are kind of the main ones, I'm going to say. For now. Anyway, I'll be back to update everybody. I hope you have hope you had a great day. And like I said, stay safe. Always use protection, which is a stop loss. But those are my top 10, or no, my top coins where I'm looking at for the future. But for now, guys, I'm waiting for a little bit more of a pullback in the market. And once we have that, then I will be looking into a lot more of these altcoins, because yeah, there could be more downside. Anyway, see you tomorrow, guys. Lovely to see you. All right.